In this video, I'm going to share with you my top 5 reasons why real estate investing is one of the best ways to build massive wealth and live the life of your dreams. All that and more coming up right now. Hey everyone, welcome back to Living in Atlanta. This YouTube channel is all about what it's like to live, work, play, and invest in the Atlanta area. My name is Marc Brenner. I'm a real estate professional here in Atlanta. And if you're thinking of buying either a residential home or an investment property, I would love to talk with you. My team and I help people relocate here from out of state and purchase investment properties all the time, and we absolutely love it. All of my contact information is below. Please visit my website, shoot me an email, give me a call. However you do it, we would love to hear from you. Also, please like this video if you found it helpful and subscribe to the Living in Atlanta YouTube channel so that you can be notified every time I put out a new video about what it's like to live here in Atlanta and why Atlanta is one of the best markets in the country to invest in real estate. All right, in one of my last videos, I discussed why Atlanta is such a great market to invest in real estate. Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you my top 5 reasons why real estate investing is one of the best ways to generate passive income and massive wealth. Now, make sure you stick around to the end because the last reason I'm going to give is the most important. So I know many of you watching may have never given real estate investing a thought, and maybe your only impression of it comes from the housing market collapse back in 2008 when a lot of real estate investors got burned. Well, I want to talk today about my top 5 reasons why real estate investing is better than almost any other investment strategy. There are specific benefits to real estate investing that you don't find investing in the stock market, you don't find investing in Bitcoin or Amazon drop shipping. Everyone these days is looking for passive income, right? So we're all looking for ways that we can generate money and live the life of our dreams and not be stuck in a job that we really don't like. Now, a lot of people work a 9-to-5 that they absolutely love and fulfills them, and I think that's fantastic. But a lot of people, myself included, want to have passive income to free up our lives to be able to do a lot of things that we're passionate about. So I'm going to talk to you today about 5 reasons why real estate is definitely something you should look into no matter what your level of experience is. All right, so here's my top 5 reasons why you should consider investing in real estate. At number 5, I have leverage. So if you want to invest in the stock market, let's say you want to purchase $100 worth of Apple shares. How much does that cost you? You guessed it, $100. Pretty straightforward, right? Well, in real estate investing, you have this amazing thing called leverage. To be able to purchase something by paying out of pocket for only a fraction of what that asset is actually worth is leverage. And leverage is what allows you to purchase an asset, say at $400,000, by only coming out of pocket, say $80,000, which would be around 20% of the value. Now, of course, you eventually have to pay the full amount of the loan, but the beautiful part about real estate investing is that if you do it right, your tenants will not only be paying down the loan that you owe, but if you do it right, you'll be collecting cash flow on top of that amount each month. There's also all kinds of amazing financing strategies that you can use to come out of pocket even less, such as seller financing, where you avoid a major institution and come to agreement with the seller about how much your down payment should be and what the interest rate should be. Those terms can be anything that you agree on, and a lot of times you can come out of pocket for far less than you would with traditional financing. There's also strategies such as the BRRRR investing strategy, where you buy a property, you rehab it, rent it out, refinance it based on the new value that you've created with your rehab, and then pull all that initial capital that you used out of your project to be able to use it again in new investment properties and quickly scale into a large investment portfolio. There's 1,000 other ways to use leverage as well, but it's one of the most unique things about real estate investing is that you can utilize loans. And again, that could be a range of financing options from traditional bank loans to private financing to seller financing. The point is, there are a lot of ways to leverage your credit or the value that you bring to a deal to be able to invest in something that you otherwise wouldn't have the cash to invest in. Of course, there's dangers that come along with being over leveraged, but used properly, this tool can be extremely powerful for building wealth. All right, number 4 on my list, equity/cash flow. Now, these days, everyone is looking for freedom from their 9-to-5, and passive income has become a really hot buzzword for people looking for ways to have income coming in weekly or monthly while they have the freedom to do other things. And in my opinion, passive income is a misnomer in that really any successful venture you're going to have is going to require, at the very least, oversight and adjustments and accountability to continue to be profitable. But in terms of being able to be hands-off, a rental portfolio can be one of the most hands-off passive income strategies that you will find that's actually legitimate. Again, I'm not saying there's no work involved in having a rental portfolio. There's a ton of work involved. But as you progress and as you get your systems in place and learn from previous mistakes, you can definitely get to a place where you have a team of people in place handling the various aspects of keeping a happy tenant and a cash flowing property producing well. And eventually you can get to a point where it's about as hands off as a passive income strategy will ever be. So when we talk about passive income as it relates to real estate investing, we're talking about your monthly cash flow from your rental properties. And obviously this is going to be the difference between your expenses, your mortgage plus any upkeep and property management that you need to pay, minus the rent that you're getting each month. And obviously the better the ratio between those two, the greater the amount of cash flow that will be put in your pocket each month. Now, one of the coolest things about real estate investing is it's very easy to walk back what financial freedom would look like for you as it relates to the amount of properties that you might need. So imagine what $5,000 in cash flow a month could do for you. Most people, that would cover a lot of their basic expenses, and honestly, that's $60,000 a year, which is high above the national average for a salary. Well, $60,000 a year breaks down to roughly 20 rental properties cash flowing at around $250 a month. Now, I know that seems like a lot, but it's really not as daunting as you think. And again, once you have most of your major systems in place and you've gone through this process a couple times, learned from your mistakes, it becomes easier and easier not only to scale up in a rental portfolio, but also to find other real estate investment niches that you want to be involved in. Now, the best part of this is not only are you receiving cash flow each month based on your profits from your rental, but you're also having someone else pay down your mortgage. And as your mortgage gets paid down, your equity increases. So the amount of the property that you actually own increases each month. And this is essentially putting more money in your pocket in a number of ways. Now, of course, you could just let your tenants pay down your mortgage as your equity slowly approaches 100%, and all you have to pay left is property taxes. But what most real estate investors do is when they get a certain portion of equity in a property, they utilize it, they refinance it and pull their equity out so that money can be making money in a new investment property. And there's actually another great way your equity can increase besides your mortgage being paid down. And that ties into our number 3 reason why real estate investing makes so much sense. All right, number 3 on my list, we have appreciation. So what do we have so far? If we've done everything right, we have a rental property that's paying us out a couple $100 in cash flow each month. We also have a tenant who's paying down our loan each month as our equity in that property increases slowly. But we also have another magical thing that's almost definitely taking place, and that is appreciation. The value of your rental property is increasing every year. Now in Atlanta, real estate appreciates at an average of 5.32% a year, which is one of the highest in the nation. On a $250,000 house appreciating at around 5% each year, that's $12,000 increased in value every year. If you had a portfolio of 10 homes at that price point, we're talking about $120,000 a year in added value to your wealth. And remember, that's on top of the monthly cash flow that you're collecting, and that's on top of the equity that's being created by your mortgage being paid down by your renter. Now, it's very important to note that any legitimate investor would tell you appreciation is the cherry on top. You should never purchase an investment property solely based on appreciation because it can be very speculative. Obviously, the home values in a given market fluctuate up and down. But with research and knowing your market and knowing the developments that are planned for a given market, you can greatly increase your odds of huge appreciation in your rental property. For example, I usually advise my investor clients to look at the Tri-Cities in South Atlanta, which is East Point, Hapeville, and College Park. This is an area in South Atlanta that's extremely close to the Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. Now, why do I recommend investors look in this area? Well, one of the reasons is that prices are relatively still affordable because this area hasn't improved or gentrified as much as many of the other areas in North Atlanta. But the other, even bigger reason than that is because I know specifically of major economic developments planned for this area near the airport, in particular, Airport City and Aerotropolis, which you should definitely look up if you're not familiar with. But we know these projects have already started and we know what's going to be involved and we can guess pretty well how significant the impact is going to be on the market. And so if we can find a rental property in this area that works for all of our other numbers, it meets all of our strict criteria, well, we're probably going to have a pretty nice cherry on top in 5 to 10 years when some of these projects are complete or near complete and the areas surrounding the projects have completely transformed. The Beltline is another fantastic example of how powerful appreciation can be. I happened to purchase my personal home in a Beltline neighborhood 6 years ago, and in that time period of 6 years, my home is currently worth 3 times what I originally paid for it. So without having done anything special, I pay my mortgage each month. After 6 years, I have over $200,000 in equity in my home that I can use for investment purposes. That's really powerful. All right, number 2 on my list, tax benefits. Real estate is simply one of the most favorably taxed asset classes in existence. From federal opportunity zones to homestead exemptions to 1031 tax deferred exchanges, there are more tax saving strategies than I can possibly mention in one video. But just know if you have a real estate investor minded CPA in your corner, you are going to be able to write off a huge percentage of the expenses you have each month for your investment portfolio. And anytime you have an opportunity to defer or reduce the amount of taxes you're paying, you've freed up that money that would have otherwise been spent in taxes or capital gains to be used for your next investment property or whatever other strategy you want to build wealth. The point being, the more money that you don't have to pay in taxes is money that you can send out into the world to make more money for you, just like in Rich Dad Poor Dad. I'm not personally a CPA, so there's only so much I can talk about this subject, but there are tons of books available and CPAs that can explain to you all the wonderful benefits tax-wise of investing in real estate. All right, here it is, my number 1 reason why you should consider investing in real estate. It's really simple, so simple that you may have taken it for granted, but it's this simple truth. People will always need a place to live. I know it sounds overly simple, but it's true. If you compare asset classes, let's say the stock market versus Bitcoin versus oil or gold, real estate is more fundamental to basic human needs than any of those assets. Literally, no matter what happens in the future, people will always need a place to sleep at night. And that usually means there's a way you can get involved in making money. Now, I'm not trying to say there's no risk involved in real estate investing. Obviously, there's risks in any investments you're going to be involved in. But real estate is one of the most hands-on investment classes you can be involved in. You can control almost every aspect of your investing. And what that means is the better that you get, the more dialed in you get with your processes and the people on your team, the more you mitigate the risk involved with this type of investing. It's obvious that you don't have nearly that level of control with, say, the stock market. You don't have any control with the decisions that those companies make at the highest level. Whereas in real estate, you can look at broad trends that aren't going to fluctuate wildly, like population increase and job growth and the demand for housing. You can also break down real estate investing into a very clear set of black and white metrics. And if your deal doesn't meet the numbers that you've projected, you can simply move on. I cannot think of another asset class where you have more control over the variables than real estate investing. Overall, it's an extremely predictable and safe asset class that provides a basic human need to the population and can provide wealth for you if you do it right. It's said that the overwhelming majority of self-made millionaires created their wealth, at least in part, through real estate investing. And hopefully I've painted a clearer picture for you today why that's the case. So yes, real estate investing does have some risk, but I can't think of another way to invest money that provides so many different benefits like the ones I discussed today. Collecting cash flow, having your debt paid down by someone else, having the value of your asset increase every year, saving tons of money through tax benefits so you can invest in other avenues, and being able to provide a fundamental human need in the form of shelter. All right, well, those were my top 5 reasons why real estate investing is one of the best ways to build massive wealth and live the life of your dreams. I really hoped you liked that video. Please comment or ask any questions in the comment section below. Again, my name is Marc Brenner. I'm a realtor in Atlanta, and if you're thinking of buying either a personal residence or an investment property in the Atlanta area, give me a call. I would love to talk with you. All my contact information is below. Please reach out. Otherwise, I'll see you next time.